Look at this. It still boggles my mind how so many people gobble up allegoric fiction, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Lord of the Rings, and still not recognise fascism. No, these stories do not teach you how fascism works. They teach you how it feels after it has already won. These stories convert complicated political systems into personal morality tales, hero narratives. The result of being conditioned on these stories is that you can recognize fascism, but you are impotent to stop it. That's why these stories get permitted and promoted. They are set in fictional empires, wizarding worlds, galaxies far, far away, in a post-apocalyptic future. But there's never any mention of any banks. Where are all the corporations and media owners? No mention of arms manufacturers. So you learn how to identify fascism by visual cues, aesthetics. But most people have no idea how it operates structurally. When you think of fascism, you think of uniforms, slogans, logos, villains, monsters. But you don't realise that fascism functions through law, courts, and contracts. And all of these stories have a similarity that's crucial and always ignored: the movement of money. Capital flows. Let's be realistic. Lord Voldemort doesn't care about this little child. Harry has a powerful inheritance. George Lucas openly modelled Star Wars on imperial violence. The reason Disney loved this story is because the critique of imperialism gets neutralised by distance and myth. In a galaxy far, far away, you can critique imperial power. But after how many? 10 movies? Do you understand how the Empire governs? Or do you just know that stormtroopers look evil? Most critically, what these movies have trained you all to do, and you continue to do, is personalize fascism. Never blame the American imperial apparatus. The problem is Donald Trump. The problem is Voldemort. The problem is Palpatine. So you are pre-trained to go into all experiences looking for who's the villain. There is an entire multi-dimensional extraction apparatus at full flow in Star Wars, but you think it's Palpatine or Darth Vader. And if we simply remove this one villain, the entire apparatus is gonna what? Find another one. In all of these stories, the satisfying ending is the removing of one villain. But our history books and myths all tell us that as soon as you remove the head, 3 more emerge. And as a society, we are left with no bandwidth to pay attention to that continuity. The reality is, fascism is so boring. From the Doomsday Book to the Nazis compiling records of every Jew, fascism cares about laws. It is slow and it is incremental, and it survives leadership changes. These movies then individualize resistance. The solution in these movies is never collective action or educational outreach to stormtroopers. It always requires one chosen person who shows as a child signs of courage and purity and bravery and destiny. There's usually some kind of mentor, someone to tell you you're a wizard, Harry. And that one child's moral clarity is supposed to replace collective organization. So viewers internalize passivity. You sit around waiting for your hero to emerge. And so nobody is building alternative institutions. We don't see unions and parallel systems as our way out. You cannot vote your way out of fascism. These movies never show you what the real work takes. No mass strikes happening, no tax boycotts, no media capture analysis, no pressure on international capital, no legal resistance or reform. No. We don't need any of that. What we need is the Jedi and their mind tricks. So we'll wait for that. In these movies, the oppression is spectacular, death is quick, trauma is temporary, and the reconstruction is skipped. This is mirrored in historical lessons about Nazi Germany. Big red flags, loud campaigns, graphic grisly death for their leader. This makes you expect that fascism will be dramatic, when actually it relies on being very mundane. Real fascism is boring. That's why people miss it while it's forming. That's why these movies produce impotence. They are excellent in hindsight, but useless at prevention. And this is really not new. Roman moral theatre used to dramatize tyranny to preserve the empire. Culture is a pressure valve. Anger gets released safely. They allow critique without consequence, emotion without strategy. Recognition is not enough. You can identify fascism perfectly and still lose to it. Fascism is happening slowly everywhere. You see me do these newsreels about the Irish government passing legislation in the middle of the night, connecting British budget decisions or policy implementations with donors and lobbyists and think tanks. That is fascism. Nowhere and nobody and nothing is safe from this. When you're told that local services need to be cut because there's no budgets, that is fascism.